If you've been on the internet for as long as I have, you've no doubt found forum posts detailing lonely young men so desperate for companionship and intimacy that they would seek advice on supernatural solutions to their suffering. Boys and men asking how to perform magical rituals to summon a succubus who might lay with them, regardless of the cost. I, like many of you, used to believe these endeavors to be feeble and doomed gestures of the utterly desperate. Obviously, these rites could bear no fruits, as demons, and more specifically succubi, exist only in the realms of fantasy and religious delusion. However, I may well have been made a believer by the subject of today's video, and you might feel the same by the time this is all over. One accursed day, a woman seemingly emerged from a portal to the lowest rent neighborhood in hell to end the 6-year dry spell of a so-called gothic wizard. This man was a lonely artisan, demonstrating chi balls on live streams and crafting literal magic wands for sale, while bemoaning his lack of companionship. The exact sort you'd expect to, unironically and in the depths of his lurid desire under the cover of night, Google the phrase, "how to summon a succubus." However, this is not his story. This is the story of a woman, not a trifling accessory to a man, not the queen defined only by her relationship to her king. This is the tale of a bog witch, a BP demon, a primordial avatar of misery. This is the story of Jessica Anne Boyle. Jessica Anne Boyle was born on June 7, 1984, to Nancy and John Boyle in Portsmouth, Virginia. Jessica, also known as Naked and Laughing, or NAL for short, is a 40-year-old cam girl and self-titled eBay Antiques reseller who lives in a loft over her parents' bedroom in her childhood home of Virginia Beach. Much like any good attic-dwelling harpy, Jessica is a frequent source of disturbances in the home. Here's the video that most people first saw when Jessica entered the broader online public consciousness.
No.
As you can see, there's no clear cause for her lighting fixture aggressions in this clip. Jessica Boyle really is the type of gizzard lizard to wake up and choose violence for violence's sake. If she isn't drunkenly yelling, crying, or gooning in front of her camera, she's locking herself in the bathroom for hours on end while shrieking some truly despicable things at her elderly parents.
You're telling me to hush? I didn't even do anything! I'm washing my face off! The water hasn't been on that long! What are you doing? I haven't done anything to you! Why are you telling me to shut up? I didn't do anything! I'll turn the water off and I can wash my face off.
Are you going to stop?
Oh my god, I need to wash it off!
You need to shut the up.
I need to wash it
You need
off!
to shut the up. You aren't going to leave here tomorrow. You might go to the fucking hospital. One way or the other. Do you fucking understand me?
There's a twist out of my
Do you
face!
fucking understand?
You need respect! Fuck you! I'm trying to wash my face!
Jessica has always sort of very obviously hated her family. Kiwi Farms users have found blog posts detailing her hatred dating back as early as 2003, when she would have been about 19 years old. In these posts, she discusses how she wishes her mom would have been poisoned, how her family unfairly blames her for damage done to her brother's girlfriend's vehicle, how her then boyfriend Keith was a piece of trash for not getting her booze, and a post detailing a violent altercation with her sister that resulted in Jessica having the cops called on her. According to her blog, Jessica's family has always favored her younger sister Faye. Jessica claims that her sister always got everything she asked for, while her mom ruins Jessica's clothing and regularly forgets her birthday. Now is a good time to mention that, according to Jessica's recent ex, Joshua Saunders, Jessica alleges that her parents allowed her to be sexually exploited by an adult when she was 15. This is a very serious claim, and if it is true, it would provide strong context for why Jessica is the way she is, along with explaining the animosity she holds for her family. It's difficult to know just what to believe when Jessica talks about her past, as in more modern times, she's been proven to lie about herself and others regularly in order to garner sympathy and attention, all while abusing those closest to her without remorse. Despite Jessica's fondness for deception, it's important to remember that 1 in 9 girls in the USA under the age of 18 have been sexually assaulted, and this statistic goes up massively in homes like Jessica's, where drug abuse and poverty are involved. If the claims Jessica makes about her family and her upbringing are true, or even mostly true, I can't help but wonder what kind of person Jessica would have grown to become if she had a family that made her feel safe and loved. Of course, we don't live in that ideal world. We live in the world where Jessica became the woman who taunted and berated her most recent ex-boyfriend while he held the barrel of a shotgun under his chin, all while live streaming it for an audience of thousands. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's take a few steps back. The cam girl era. In 2013, Jessica entered her cam girl era, which is honestly the least interesting bit of Jessica lore to me. I have nothing against sex workers, and I don't blame a girl for getting her bag. She was an adult, she hosted lewd live streams on a site meant for adults to host lewd live streams. I mean, what do you want from me? Pics? Vids? No. They exist, they're underwhelming, and I wouldn't suggest going to look for them. Is she weirdly hostile to her audience during those streams? Probably. Does she get drunk and high while performing? Almost certainly. Is the vibe in her shows weirdly negative and whiny? One can only assume so. Jessica, as we can see from all of her modern live streams, is far from an enjoyable watch. She's basically always drunkenly rambling about how much she hates someone or something, or how she doesn't have the thing she wants. She insults her audience by making jokes about how they should go commit necrophilia and incest with a parent's corpse. I don't imagine she brings fun, bimbo-fied, party girl energy to her sexy streams. It's probably a lot of dead air, a lot of her looking with dead eyes off to the side, being partially out of frame, and a lot of TV background noise with her occasionally yelling at someone else in her house while getting increasingly intoxicated. Basically, I imagine her paid streams are regular streams, but with more bogus-y. The Craigslist incident. Let's talk about the Craigslist incident for a moment, shall we? Now, this is a bit of Jessica lore that I was entirely unaware of before writing this script, and honestly, I can think of nothing more suiting for the type of person that Jessica appears to be. Apparently, Jessica had a bit of a fondness for threatening to post people's images and contact information on Craigslist under the personal section. If you aren't familiar, Craigslist is a local buying and selling website with subdomains for virtually every city and town in North America. Up until 2018, it included a dedicated personal section for things like casual encounters, men seeking men, women seeking women, and other intimacy-seeking categories. It probably sounds a little sleazy now, but this was essentially what people used before apps like Tinder and Grindr created the gamified, commodified hookup culture we have today. Anyway, Jessica allegedly got mad at a 16-year-old girl and posted her picture and phone number on Craigslist. Here is a related review made in 2016 for the Home Depot that Jessica worked at. Earlier this week, my daughter and I were shopping at your Virginia Beach location. My daughter noticed a female employee named Jessica Boyle that she recognized. The only reason my daughter knows this female is because on October 11th, 2015, Jessica posted my daughter, who was a minor, on Craigslist for sex. I am shocked that you allow people who do such terrible things to work for you, especially since she did this to a child. You must not do background checks on your employees. Either that or you just don't care. Anyone who hurts a child like that should not be able to work around children. You should know that the Central for Missing and Exploited Children was contacted and a report was filed. The investigation remains open. Miss Boyle did remove the post, but the damage had already been done. My daughter received tons of phone calls, text messages, and very inappropriate pictures from men. She should not be allowed to work around children of any age where she has the ability to one day harm them in the way that she has my daughter. As I said, either you don't do background checks or you simply don't care. Now, there's always a chance that this is fake, but given that it was posted before Jessica entered into the drama sphere of the internet and eventually the lolcow circuit, I'm inclined to believe it was probably not a troll post. Speaking of drama, let's talk about Gorlworld. Gorlworld is a network of loosely affiliated YouTube drama commentators centered around Foodie Beauty, Amber Lynn Reed, and other women of the sort. You know, the incredibly melodramatic girlies on a perpetual weight loss journey that never really goes anywhere, but makes up a great deal of their brand appeal. This section is going to introduce a bunch of new characters, so I'll try to remind you of who everyone is as we go. Basically, the reason we even care about the petty dramas we're about to dive into is to establish who Jessica is by looking at the types of people she associates with and the ways in which she ruins her own reputation and screws them all over. So, Jessica essentially started as a chatter in Foodie Beauty's streams. Then she went on to repeatedly troll some lady named Enchanted Roses, who's also a creator in the Gorlworld space. Yes, I know, I am calling it Gorlworld, this is just how they say it.
Let me make this perfectly clear, okay? I don't give a crap what Jessica's doing, what she's saying, what she's wearing. I do not care. I don't care about Jay, I don't care about Glenn, I don't care about Purple Glitter, I don't care about Jessica Mesca, okay? Let me make this perfectly clear, okay? I don't care. I'm going to live my life, and they can go live theirs, okay?
I'm not gonna change my mind. There's no Enchanted Roses, there's no anything. No. Because I'm done with YouTube altogether.
Well, they're really gonna miss me then, aren't they?
She got banned from Rose's chat because of her trollish endeavors, and then started a hate campaign against a rival troll named Ariel, because she was like jealous or something that Ariel was able to successfully buddy troll Rose without getting banned, and while being one of her top moderators. Oh, also, Ariel's ex was like talking to Jessica to make Ariel jealous or something. Like, the Gorlworld creator space is just high school drama, and as an outsider, it's honestly so exhausting to look at, but I hope they're having fun playing Mean Girls online or whatever. After convincing a bunch of people that Ariel was a bad person for trolling Rose, which, like, sure, I guess, but girl, you did the same thing, she found out that Ariel had a kid, and that kid had cancer. So she started making fun of Ariel for being involved in online drama shit while her kid had cancer. Which again, like, fair, but you'd probably be doing the exact same thing in her position, girly pop. Like, let's be so fucking for real right now. Anyway, enter the second Jessica, Jessica Messica.
Would I shave my head for 10K? I think I would. 10K? Can I get good wigs for that, like, and installed? I think I would. So I have this freckle on my eyebrow, and my aunt would try to scrub it off in the bathtub. I remember this. Oh my God. kind of fuck with this. Jessica Messica is also a Jenna Marbles reference. She was doing a prank call and she couldn't think of a last name, so she said Jessica Messica. Oh my god, I'm the hottest locale, Easton. Thank you. I kind of like this. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So that this isn't too confusing, I'll refer to Jessica Messica as JM and continue referring to the subject of today's video as Jessica. So, JM was good friends with Ariel, and by extension was subjected to Jessica's ire. While JM was away from the internet and in a recovery facility for alcohol abuse, JM filmed herself doing a brief update video, which was actually against the rules of the facility. Seeing this, Jessica made a call to the facility and reported this to the staff there, resulting in JM getting kicked out of the place she went to at an extremely vulnerable time in her life to try and get her shit together. Jessica then bragged about this act of sabotage in DMs, which were subsequently leaked, possibly by Jessica herself, given how proud she was and how she's frequently too blackout drunk and stoned to keep her mouth shut. God, can you tell how much I really do not like this woman?
You're beautiful. Look how beautiful you are. You're a chunk of a chunk. You're a beastie boy. You're a beastie boy. Well, then quit fucking harassing me and biting my feet. If you don't love me like that.
Genuinely, such a waste of human potential. And don't forget, dear viewer, her electoral vote counts the same as yours. Well, it actually might count more than yours depending on which state you live in because of the electoral college shenanigans. But I'm getting sidetracked. Gods, when did Cobra get political?
You think you just fell out of a coconut?
On a final major note about JM, Jessica continued her crusade against her a while later because JM lives in Jessica's head rent-free and accused JM of running an Adderall mail-order drug ring. As far as I could find, there was never any proof of this, and the documentarians down at the Kiwi farm speculate that this is a ridiculous claim because this all went down during the ongoing Adderall shortage in America. So, next in Jessica's Gorlworld saga, we have to take a brief detour to talk about Tyler, known online as SJam.
So, we're gonna have our last bees, and we're gonna have whatever we want to drink, we're gonna have whatever we want to eat, and we're just gonna eat and just fuck it.
When you fuck with me, you're gonna get it. I'm hyper. Girl will fuck up.
If my girl wants to get on top, she can do it. If she don't, I'll get on top of her and I'll plow the shit over her.
I'm okay. I didn't burn myself. Ouch. Okay. 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 Nice here. What did go wrong? What went wrong? Bye. 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 Oh. 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 No.
Tyler is basically some drunken pay pig orbiter, I guess, who sends random Gorlworld ladies money and gifts while making feeder and bloat fetish content. He also goes on a lot of drunken, hate-fueled rants like this one.
When you fuck with me, you're gonna get it. I'm hyper. Girl will fuck up. Place up, you goddamn slob. Fucking loser. Fuck you. And fuck you, piece too. Fuck you and your fucking everything. Okay? Hope you end up in jail. You'll be definitely getting sued by me. Bye, bitch. You.
So, he sent money to Jessica to help her pay some bills, and as thanks for this charitable gesture, she sent him unsolicited nudes, because she is one hell of a messy girly. I guess maybe she thought she'd infatuate him with her body and he'd turn into her personal piggy bank? Well, it didn't work, and he made fun of her for it in JM's chat. You know, the lady Jessica got ousted from the rehab facility a little while ago, and he drew a crude, unflattering illustration of Jessica's body to share with chat. Obviously, Jessica wasn't going to take this mockery of her unsolicited nudes sitting down. So she went on stream and leaked DMs with Tyler, where he talked about the first time he wrapped his vehicle around a pole while driving drunk.
SJM is a woman hater, closeted, maybe gay, and he drove drunk, crashed into a pole, laughed about it, and he's very lucky he hasn't killed himself. He was in jail, killed somebody else, and he still drives drunk. So I'm going to read it. This is SJM texting Jacqueline Sue, and I am sorry, Jacqueline Sue. You already know I told you if SJM says a motherfucking thing about me, I am going to expose his accident. And this is from Tyler, from SJM. Oh, babe, I'm sorry I scared you. Oh my God. Were you on the phone when the accident happened? I recall the call be on still. It says I wasn't gone. I don't know what happened. I didn't hydrate, was looking at radio, hit gravel, then took a pole out, plus another. LMAO. Do you see that? Do you see that laughing? He's laughing right there. It says, cops here. I tried backing out of accident and ended up on other side of road facing home, so they don't get that I just said I hit first pole and think it knocked me out, and I tried reversing. And then Jacqueline Sue says, oh my God. And then he says, we'll put in report, no mentions of anything else. He said, good. And he says, keep praying I'll take anything but a criminal charge. And then it says, yes, I took down hydro lines. I know. And then it says, what the fuck, Tyler? Why? I swear to God, I don't know why this webcam is not focusing tonight. This is really a shame. It says, what the fuck, Tyler? And it says, I'm in big shit drunk right now. Not even sober. I'm in trouble. And she says, what the fuck? With a broken heart and a sad eyes. The hood was in the windshield. The whole side of car was gone, like no panels, all inside. And she says, what the f, Tyler? And he says, I was f***ing with the radio. Hit the gravel and it sucked me into the pole. It says all 15 airbags, he said. Oops, don't look at my room, sorry. Look at this. Look at that. I know you can't see that very good, but that's his car. That's his car.
Yeah, Tyler has like a huge reputation for driving drunk, like super commonly. He also cross-dresses and has a whole side hustle as an NSFW fat fetish content creator. So like, go off queen or whatever. Next, so a couple of years before Jessica met her most notable ex, she became besties with a character in the Gorlworld cinematic universe called Luxicon. Luxicon liked a set of Jessica's antique plates, so Jessica sold them to her in exchange for Adderall and weed. Well, I say sold, but she never actually sent Luxicon the plates. So I guess it's more accurate to say she swindled Luxicon out of some drugs. And then she called her a bitch for sending weed gummies, because I guess Jessica is a princess when it comes to the way she ingests her THC, and gummies are icky or whatever. Needless to say, Luxicon and Jessica aren't exactly besties anymore, which I guess actually explains why Luxicon snatched Jessica's next boyfriend. Enter FTW Blue God. FTW Blue God, also known as Nobody News Network, or Anthony, as we'll call him, is a 300 sub Andy on YouTube who apparently covered Gorlworld drama and posted lost to time political rants that I am genuinely heartbroken I won't get to see. Of course, through the magic of the Wayback Machine, I am proud to present to you the Nobody News Network YouTube channel snapshot from May 2023, shortly before NAL would have ascended from hell into his DMs. As you can see, the content is sparse and aimless, and his subscriber count is about what one could expect for a channel that fails to be engaging on any level beyond a sort of uncommitted, superficial aesthetic conceived by a terminally juvenile and uncreative mind. Oh well, I was at least able to get some footage of him talking so that we can see what kind of man Jessica fawns over.
Fake husband will be fully exposed right here. Because here at the Nobody News Network, we take no days off from getting our cocaine off. We ran back and forth so much it pissed Jose off. You see, Jose is a cocaine boss. He's straight from Colombia.
Okay, so I don't know if I can capture this on camera. But we got one leg on this, one heel on this side of the wall. I'm laying on the ground. And I got one heel on this side of the wall. And there's a gap, right? Now the goal is to bust that puppy open. So little by little, I'm just gonna relax and just inch myself more and more. You can sit up and hang on to the whatever the fuck, the ledge. You can get up. And you can use the ledge to inch yourself up. It is a slow process. So once I bust that open, I'll get back to you. Okay, so here we go some minutes later. I got 95% busted open status. I'm right up on the wall. One heel is here. I can't feel this shit. The other heel, there is a little space. See that space? What I need is somebody is to take their feet and push it against my ass to really crush me in there. But that's basically how you do it. I'm actually developing the rules for this so-called weight loss journey on the way. So I'm going to be weighing myself maybe like once a month, once every 3 weeks. I'm not going to be weighing myself every day. I think that's futile. I'm not counting calories. I'm not into any of that fucking shit. I'm just going to try not to eat crazy and exercise. That's it. I need to stretch the whole situation out. It's a leg stretch. As if you haven't seen it before. Ready? Done cleaning your nutsack? No, a little more? Remember everyone, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. BP needs his temptation treats. Right, BP? You need your treats. Bye-bye.
When you think about it, given Anthony's abysmally low subscriber count and inability to create watchable content, her next boyfriend, King Cobra JFS, was actually a huge clout upgrade for Jessica after this nobody. It's kind of crazy to imagine Cobes being out of anyone's league, but Jessica actually sets the bar so low that he clears it like an Olympic high jump gold medalist. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus back in on Anthony for a bit. Jessica found Anthony through the network of Gorlworld commentators and orbiters that she was now fully entrenched in. She started commenting on his posts and live streams, and he began to return the favor. They became moderators for each other's streams, and she began sending him nudes and shaping her new persona around his identity. She became a jump rope enthusiast because he would post jump rope workout videos. She changed her YouTube handle to Nobody Nudes Network and No Nudes Nobody to play off of his channel name. She adopted his mannerisms and linguistic idiosyncrasies, such as his signature catchphrase, "Suck it on soft." Jessica, in true BPD girly form, even adopted his questionable taste in music, including There It Go by Jules Santana, a song with an official music video that features several scantily clad women simultaneously kissing a little boy in its opening. Not really sure that that last part is entirely relevant, but I do think it's interesting and probably says something about the artist and his devotees. Speaking of crimes, did I mention that our boy Anthony has a pattern of being arrested for domestic violence? There were 2 formal arrests documented on news sites online, but I've also seen evidence of other arrests that we're going to get into shortly. The first arrest was over an incident in which Andy assaulted someone with a knife in 2013. Given that this also took place in a home, I'd say it's very likely that this was the same incident that one of his exes allegedly shared a video of. The video is currently lost media, but I would have loved to include it in here. Then again, depending on the content, I may not have been able to. Anthony was arrested again in 2017, once again for a domestic assault situation. This time, however, he resisted arrest so passionately that he actually managed to injure one of the cops and ended up getting slapped with an additional charge: aggravated assault on a police officer, plus obstruction of justice or whatever. But damn, Tony, you really know how to take a bad situation and make it way worse. There are a few other arrests we know about, but we'll get to those in a sec. So back to our BPD queen, Jessica Anne Boyle. As part of her accursed mating ritual, she would take frequent opportunities to flash her more scandalous bits to her audience during streams in which Anthony was present. I'll spare you the visuals, though mostly for the sake of this video remaining monetizable. Think fishnets and a gratuitous amount of cheek. Jessica was certainly dressed to depress, I'll give her that. Though their whirlwind romance had only started that summer, November saw the winter of their passions blow in. After being kicked out of his baby mama's house and thrown back into jail, our father of the year, Anthony, was offered a helping hand by none other than Luxicon, Jessica's frenemy, to whom she still owed a debt of antique plates. It seems Luxicon was about to find other ways to make Jessica pay for those weed gummies. Luxicon bailed that stray dog of a man out of jail and brought him into her home. After Jessica accidentally messaged JM with concerns about Anthony cheating on her, JM got her sweet revenge on Jessica by leaking the DMs on livestream for her audience to jeer at. If you're having trouble keeping up at this point, all you really need to know is that Jessica is getting exactly what she deserves from two women she had intentionally and maliciously screwed over. It came out that Anthony and Luxicon had, in fact, been making thick in the warm with one another.
Thick in the warm, huh?
Oh, what's that? You hated that? You thought that sounded disgusting?
Oh yes, he made thick in her warm.
Well, like Lily Contino, I am beholden to the linguistic regulations of my chosen platform, so really, you should be blaming YouTube for this. But I digress. After this truly shocking cheating bombshell, Anthony did what any honorable and repentant man would do, and claimed that Luxicon had essentially held him hostage while lacing his words with the most dehumanizing language he could muster. I have at least 8+ hours of audio. Every day, when I'd come back, the monster would be in its usual place on the couch, sweating profusely from the speed yet not losing an ounce, and I would be forced to interact or else I would literally have to sit on the floor by the door because I wasn't going near it, and had to endure this every single day. It's terribly difficult and traumatic for me to hear my abuser's annoying ramblings in these recordings, and is triggering my PTSD. I am so traumatized I can't hear its voice to even get these uploaded. Pray for me. He then claimed he was engaging in survival intimacy, framing himself as a victim on social media. Normally, I'd be willing to engage with the idea that he may well have been coerced, at least partially, due to the implicit power dynamic of her essentially being the only thing keeping him from homelessness. But this is also the man who had been arrested multiple times for domestic violence, so I'm not really interested in buying what he's selling here. But of course, even someone like Anthony has his own twisted idea of what a virtue signal looks like. I was thinking to myself, what would Jesus do? He wouldn't stoop this low. I'm not participating in this anymore. Please don't anger the lamb. Just as quick as I turned it off, I'll turn it back on if need be. So you play in the mud with swine. I refuse to anymore. I can admit that even though I went through some weird-ass shit, I'm not gonna further continue in the insanity at this point. I'll just file this in the I can't believe that really happened file in my head. I will be forever scarred. However, I choose to live like Christ. Jessica, as we well know by now, is a woman who makes level-headed choices and sees through the bullshit to the core of any situation.
Ah, come on. Get up, move. Thank you, you fucking asshole. You literally saw me and you stopped me from getting out of the aisle, you fucking stupid bitch. You fucking retard. No self-awareness, none.
And so she acted accordingly, where a lesser person would look at Luxicon and Anthony and say something like, thanks for saving me the trouble of breaking up with that loser, you deserve each other. Jessica instead fell hook, line, and sinker for Anthony's narrative and made this post about how she doesn't have female friends because they steal her boyfriends or something. I've always had an issue having women friends. Not that I hate women by any means, always the opposite. So, when you have a so-called friend who tells you that they love you, yet are an actual real-life psychopath betraying me behind my back, how the fuck am I supposed to think that people genuinely like me when this shit is going on behind the scenes? It's really hard to think that anyone likes me at all, because this is how it's always been in my life. women pretending to be my friends to screw with me in the end. So even if people can be genuine and true with me, it's harder for me to believe anyone. To say that I'm not in complete shock would be a lie. I'm empty inside. With such great friends, who needs enemies? Also, you nasty piece of WTF, you ain't getting those plates from me either. Have it packed up and ready to go, but I'll be sure to unpack it and throw the letter to you away. I was leaving you alone because I thought you had health issues to deal with, plus wanting to wean away from drama because I get it, but oh no, you are such a disgusting POS. Honestly, I hate any of this even happened, but I'm glad to know you've been exposed now for the psycho that you are. Also, who in their right mind posts photos of huge dumps and period clumps to their friends? If a friend did that to me, I'd ask them to seek help. No one wants to see that shit. Literally, no one. Stay out of my life, psycho. Knew it was too odd for you to once go from her Discord to begging to be my friend and wanting to make a Discord. The odd feeling was there, but sadly I ignored it. Thanks for showing me who you truly are. Also, a body in motion stays in motion. Go find a patch of grass in NYC to touch without running out of breath. Spicy. Wow, she was really mad. This all culminated in Luxicon posting an absolutely scathing recounting of her time with Anthony after kicking him to the curb. I'll let it scroll on screen here, but I won't be reading it out loud because it's really long, so feel free to pause and read it for yourself if you'd like. Essentially, she claimed that he was extremely eager for intimacy from her, often initiating while she was sleeping. She claimed that the intimacy began on the first night and continued feverishly until she told him that she wanted to move things beyond friends with benefits if this was to continue, because dealing with his frequent drug abuse-induced panic attacks of personal drama was too much. This, by Luxicon's telling of things, marked the death of his carnal desires for her, and the dawn of his perception of her as a monster. Despite being literally the most obvious scumbag in all existence, Jessica continued to ardently defend Anthony, even though he was honestly so over her at this point and basically treated her like an afterthought, ignoring her even as a mod in his own live chat. After publicly thirst posting for Ariel, another one of Jessica's enemies we talked about earlier, Anthony finally broke the spell on Jessica, and she went on to post a meltdown stream that would signal the dawn of a new era. But whatever became of Anthony after getting kicked out by the last person willing to handle his shit for him? I'm not even going to bury the lead here with a cutting remark. Anthony violated his baby mama's protective order against him by going back to her place in search of shelter from the consequences of his innumerable bad life choices. He was admitted to a New Jersey correctional facility on April 26, 2024, and is currently projected to remain in custody until February 22nd, 2026. Well, at least one of these stories had a happy ending. Editing Kagra here. I've been working on this video for so long that Anthony's actually released a few videos from prison, and I really wanted to show you this one in particular because I think it shows that he follows the usual prison trajectory of a lolcow where they develop extreme delusions of grandeur during their stay. So, enjoy.
Some call me FTW Blue God. Some call me Jesus Christ. Some call me Satan. Some call me King of the Power of the Air. Some people call me the Little Horn. Some people call me the Son of Perdition. I've gone through many names in the millennia that I've been amongst you you miserables, right? And I'm just going to make a public service announcement. Listen, I'm not cell banging with none of you fucking glugaroos on here. In other words, in prison, there's a term called cell banging. Let's say I'm in cell 2 and you're in cell 150. You want to scream and you want to threaten and you want to do all this nonsense from the privacy and the comfort of your own cell. But when it comes time to go out into the yard and enter into the ultimate and to see the everlasting and to step out into the infinite in the video game that is life, you're still waiting in the lobby. Your character hasn't even spawned onto the battlefield, and you want to throw rocks and hide your head. If you're not able to turn on the everlasting and to speak extemporaneously, then are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? See, I reached enlightenment in solitary confinement. When you open that door for solitary confinement, you're either going to find heaven or you're going to find hell. And I saw, or was given, the vision of how the program actually works. I saw how the program works. On a subatomic level, I saw how the fucking program works, to say the least. And in that moment, I reached enlightenment. People around me were banging on their cells. They were crying. They were rubbing shit on the walls. They were self-mutilating. One guy was He could recite the Constitution word for word. He'd do that all night and day. And I just sat there and I meditated. I meditated on the now, and the everlasting now. So if you think I'm gonna play a little, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I know you're delusional enough to think that this is base reality, but I've seen it. I saw the machine that creates it all. And I can tell you, just as sure as this is fucking planet Earth right here, is just as sure as this is not base reality. It's a runaway AI program. And I saw it. Yes, what's it?
Also, I am very sorry to report, but it appears as though his black cat, Pee-Pee, that we saw earlier in the video, has passed away. His ex lit her place on fire or something while Pee-Pee was there, according to him in one of his videos. So I guess we have to take it with a grain of salt, but also, like, that just goes to show that people like this really can't be trusted to have animals. Now, about that 12-hour jump rope meltdown stream. Shortly after the post about Ariel, Jessica went live from her driveway. Fueled by spite and alcohol both in copious amounts, Jessica decided on her next target, King Cobra JFS, or Joshua Saunders as he's known by the women in his life who he makes deeply uncomfortable.
Like I said, I don't care if Ellen Knight wants to date me. I'm a solid friend to Walt and Angie, regardless of what Ellen thinks of me. And if Ellen says, hey, I'm sick of your fucking ass, I want you to leave me and my family alone, I'll do it. If Ellen's truly sick of my ass and she's creeped out by me hanging out with her parents, I'll leave. But like at the same time, I'm like, how do your parents feel? Because if Walt likes me besides the bullshit, then it shouldn't matter. If you don't want to date me, that's fine. But you're not going to take my friendship away from Walt and Angie. You're just not.
I'm not trying to get with Ellen or anything. There are plenty of fangirls that want to fuck Cobra, whether or not the trolls are jealous of it or not. People see all these of-age chicks who are like, you know what? I'm tired of being bullied because I like King Cobra and I think he's sexy.
But I'm going to continue to back off from Ellen and not try anything. How's that for irony? And that just shows you my trolls are fucking obsessed, man. I don't gotta harass chicks that my trolls like to get inside their penile, tiny brain heads. Your life is more sad than my crush on Ellen Knight. And her not giving me a chance. And I don't blame Ellen, to be honest. If I was in her shoes, I'd feel the same way. And the only reason my trolls scared Ellen off is because they can't find an Ellen Knight of their own, and that's just cold facts. And the only thing sadder than Ellen Knight not giving me a chance are my fucking YouTube trolls' lives. The only thing sadder than my obsession with Alicia Rhodey in high school are my YouTube trolls' lives. Like, I've completely backed off from Ellen ever since the bite-sized Cobra bullshit happened. But if her dad and me are best friends, it is what it is. I don't go over to Walt and Angie's unless I'm invited. And if Ellen shows up, I completely ignore her. Realistically, would Walt and Angie let me hang out with them if I was stalking their daughter? You know what I'm saying? You know, my trolls are more obsessed with Ellen than I am.
On a real note, how are you going to accuse me of being jealous of you and your so-called buddy, boyfriend, when I'm the one that helped provide Christmas dinner? My friends were in a tough spot. They needed some money for Christmas dinner, so I chipped in some YouTube money to make it happen. You know, my friend spent yesterday cooking dinner with her daughter. It was a very pleasant experience, and just leave it at that. You know, and I think certain people have a crush on me, and certain people are afraid to admit their true feelings. That's why certain people act the way they do around me. How are you going to sit there and say, you stole my heart, but then turn around and say, no, I don't want to date you, I just see you as a friend?
Among the many assuredly entertaining moments of shameless degeneracy in this mess of a stream, Jessica at one point lays out her intentions for Josh in a rather direct manner.
So, all I have to say is my trolls are more pussy than King Cobra's trolls will ever be. That's what's up. That's most definitely what's up. And I would seriously make an OnlyFans just to fuck King Cobra in front of all of y'all. Y'all would pay me $5,000 a piece to watch me fuck King Cobra. Oh yeah, you would. Every last one of you would pay me $5,000 to fuck his brains out. Yep. Yeah, you would. I don't care if I'm goth to him or of age or cisgendered or whatever the he prefers in his life. I will his brains out, and every last one of you whores will pay me $5,000 to watch it.
The idea born of inebriation actually sheds a lot of light on the interactions that Jessica will have with Joshua once she digs her talents into him. Without this context, one may see their coming relationship as an ill-advised, passionate affair between two adults who are just fundamentally incapable of functioning in a healthy dynamic. With it, however, we see the predatory overtones for what they are from the very beginning. The Jessica and King Cobra JFS saga is so eventful and so well documented that it deserves a whole video on its own. For now, let's debrief on what we've seen so far. Jessica Anne Boyle is, and always has been, a deeply troubled and disturbed woman. Whether her many antisocial inclinations stem from a sympathetic place, such as a childhood of neglect and abuse due to her apparent neurodivergencies, or from some unaddressed chemical imbalance, Jessica has proven herself for decades to be hateful, vindictive, unstable, and a menace to everyone caught in her animus web. She is a shameless, heartless individual who is and has been out of control. She's been this way for so long that I can't ever imagine her getting the help that would be required to make her a positive force in this world. I think it's deeply sad that she was allowed to get this way. I think it reflects poorly on her family for not addressing these issues back when she still had potential to lead a decent life. And in many ways, her parents have earned the tumultuous and miserable existence they now share with her. Like with other lol cows, I genuinely have no idea how she's going to survive on her own once her parents pass and are therefore no longer around to insulate her from the responsibilities of life and the consequences of her caustic presence. Jessica, to me, represents someone totally overcome by their worst impulses and deepest insecurities. I made a lot of remarks about BPD, or borderline personality disorder, in this video, and to be clear, Jessica has never been diagnosed with this. Jessica doesn't trust doctors, so she's never created an opportunity for a diagnosis. I think that this avoidance in itself reflects a deep insecurity within her. I'm someone who's struggled with BPD in the past, and I know that it can destroy relationships and make one act with undue callousness and cruelty to those we love. Even when you can resist the impulses that others would see, you can still fall prey to those that they can't. The feeling of no one caring, of everyone merely tolerating you, of a fundamental inability to feel secure in relationships and friendships, and the guilt and resentment that that breeds. I know these pains. I know what it's like to feel like you're going crazy because you know that others have no reason to hate you, but the way that they didn't really seem interested the last time you spoke, that made you feel like they hate you, and surely they know better than to make you feel that way. Even if what they did was totally fine and not actually hateful, they still shouldn't have done it. It was still wrong. They were still horrible. Why do they always do this to me? Will no one love me? I get what it's like to have a brain that makes you want to see others as either gods to be worshipped or enemies to be fought, often switching unpredictably between the two extremes. Even with that in mind, I could never look at someone like Jessica and give her a single drop of grace. Jessica has lived a full life committed to succumbing to her worst impulses. She enables this within herself by remaining drunk and high at every opportunity and actively seeking situations in which she can become embroiled in interpersonal drama. She sabotages people she's never even met in real life by striking at their most vulnerable moments. She leverages her sexuality, albeit in a deeply insecure manner, to manipulate men more impulsive and weak-minded than herself. When this fails, she attempts to destroy them. I really did mean it when I said that she should be examined as more than just an accessory to a man. Her recent rise to prominence in the lolcow sphere was as an accessory to King Cobra JFS, and I've seen very few people specifically address her divorced from that context. It was disappointing, but entirely unsurprising, to see that she had such a pattern of clinging to men for relevance and clout. Tyler, Anthony, and now Josh. She continues to literally define herself by the men she pursues, one after another. When one leaves, she sheds the interests and affects of that person only to replace them with those of the next man. When I look at Jessica, I feel pity and disgust. I see the worst possible manifestation of some of my own issues. I see a haunting specter of what could have been. When we look at others and feel disgust, I think it says a lot about how we look at ourselves. Often, disgust is most strongly evoked when we see our own shadows exemplified in others. The socially vigilant autistic man who prides himself on his ability to pass as neurotypical, recoiling in a particularly acute sense of revulsion when looking at Jupiter burning ponies outside of his group home because the person online lying to him obviously and pretending to be his girlfriend told him to do so. The mother who is a recovering drug addict, feeling incensed when watching someone choose drugs over their own children. The trans woman who just wants to go about life with discretion and dignity, watching the GameStop Meltdown Man video and wanting to crawl out of her skin from secondhand embarrassment. The sight of our own struggles conquering those like us is a jarring, complex form of social pain. We see their humanity as we see our own, but we want to reject it, to see them as something subhuman. It makes us feel like we were never at risk of becoming like them. No circumstance could have led us to making the same mistakes or committing the same misdeeds. Maybe it's true. Maybe those who can stare into the void without being consumed by it are just built different. Maybe it's circumstantial, and a more traumatic or neglectful upbringing would have left any of us the same as them. I don't think that agonizing over how close or how far we are from them is really the point, though. Jessica is not me. Just as Chris Chan isn't the autistic software developer who was nonverbal for the first 3 years of his life. I do genuinely think that, despite the obvious nature of their shortcomings, there is wisdom to be gleaned from observing them. We see how self-reflection and the ability to honestly and critically examine one's choices is so important to being a decent person. Anyway, I wanted to close this off with a sort of highlight reel of Jessica clips, things that didn't necessarily fit into the context of what we discussed in this video, but ultimately were things I really want to share with you anyway. A lot of these will include things from a live stream I did a few weeks ago with chat, where we looked at the Bjorkdown meltdown of Jessica's, often considered her first major video-based meltdown, wherein there is Bjork, there is topless shenanigans, and there is a lot of swearing and slurs, and it was a good time to watch. I mean, it was torture, but it was a good time. It was good torture. Anyway, I hope you enjoy them.
I don't hate you, Jacqueline. I have nothing against you, Jacqueline,
Yes.
but your fucking fucking
Oh my
boyfriend
god!
is a piece of shit.
Okay.
And
All
I'm
right.
allowed to say that because he's the one who gave
I'm allowed
Ariel
to
my
say that.
pictures.
Which people from the Cobra-verse can say the not very nice word for gay? Jessica Boyle. She can't say it, but she says it every day.
So, Jacqueline, you don't even have to like me either. Because I'm going to call your boyfriend a faggot because that's what he is.
Whoa! Jessica, stop. Come on.
He's a faggot?
He has a girlfriend, Jessica. Okay, boobies are over here now. We are having a time. An ogre. Oh, man.
Who gives a shit? Everybody wants to sabotage me,
Wow.
and Anthony already proved it to
Half her
himself.
nipple
So
is
fuck
falling
you.
out.
Fuck all of you bitches.
I have to be so careful. Dude. This is like,
Too bad
we are
his
riding
father
a fine
didn't kill him
line.
when he could have.
Oh my god, what?
All of you! Bullshit. Where did it go?
Look, I know people say it pretty frivolously, but literally just
I
log
don't
off.
feel good. I'm gonna puke, okay? Bye-bye, baby people. I'm gonna smoke some weed and throw up, okay?
Oh my god.
I'm not... I'm done, everybody, okay? Good night. Good night.
You're not done. We got another 15 minutes to go, girly pop. Is she gonna... Oh my god. Never has there been a messier bitch. Never has anyone been so messy.
Puerto Ricans are not on the list of yet.
Don't do raccoons like that. They're adorable.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I will fuck a Puerto Rican
Okay.
in my lifetime.
You hear that, chat?
Taste like unless he's been cheating on a
or he don't know what tastes like since 1987, and he wants to treat me like this. What did I fucking do? I'm trying to wash my face off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Josh should marry me. That's why all I get all day is, oh yeah. Josh said he'll only marry if he can put his clock tower dream mansion, and only if it lasts that long. So obviously, even Josh doesn't fucking believe in me. Okay, nobody believes in me.
Maybe they have like a separate chat going on outside of this or something? Oh my God.
If you loved me, you would tell me kind of what Red Bull it was right now. You don't do fucking Red Bull. You know, when I first visited him, he bought me 2 packs of 4 Red Bulls.
Oh
So
my
that was
God.
1, 2, 3. That was 8 Red Bulls.
Party hard past 30 wig, that's
The
me.
full-size Red Bulls, I think, are 12. I think the small ones are 8 out. He bought me 2 packs of the 4.
She's so drunk.
2 4-packs of the 8-ounce Red. That took me a long time to get through, and that was so generous of him.
Also, she's about to start crying.
I love him. I do love my Josh. Nobody's perfect in this world. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. But he bought me Red Bull. He fucking knows it.
He bought me Red Bull.
I love my Josh. I love my Josh.
Whoa.
I love him. You people don't even...
Holy fuck, dude.
What did Josh used to... I'm gonna fart. I know Josh likes farts, Josh. If he would have heard my farts at whatever time, oh my God, he would have fell back in love with me, to be honest. And everyone wants a God-given screenshot me at the fucking ugliest. Fuck you. That's why I'm not giving none of y'all content.
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing.
There's noise, dude.
No. There's no noise. I'm tired of people giving me ugly screenshots they want me to fucking react to. I'm fucking tired of it. I know how ugly I am.
You're not ugly, Jessica. Ignore the fucking asshole trolls.
Josh knows who the fuck I am. Don't you, Josh?
Uh-huh.
I love Josh. I love him. I like all kinds of fucking music. I like all kinds of music. I love Josh. I don't want to rule his life. I just want to better his life. There's a difference between being drunk and drunk beyond comprehension. I love Josh. And y'all don't even fucking know. I love Josh. I love Josh. Right? Where are you going?
Grabbing my beer.
I'm grabbing your... What kind of beer you got, baby doll? Oh, we're gonna listen to this before we listen to... okay. Where's my grunt?
If you enjoyed today's lengthy dive into the villain origin story of Jessica Boyle, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting with an example of who evokes that complex revulsion I mentioned earlier within you. Consider sharing this video on your favorite Discord server, or checking out my wishlist, shop, or YouTube memberships, all located in the description below. Special thanks, as always, to my amazing supporters over on Patreon and in my Google memberships: Mac from Philly, John aka Punished Joe, Grasshopper, Newport Poppy, The Trolls Win Boys, Mahi Mahi, Micah Mayhem, Luna Demort, and Sir Pringle. Thank you all very much for your support. I so appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next video, and remember, take your meds. Take your meds.
Take your fucking meds.
And also get your dick fucked at the same time. I hope you laugh, come, cry, and get your fucking grapes.